This is Aaron Levine from Fulfill and J, formerly the Food Bank of Monmouth and Ocean Counties, and with LG Insurance and the And Insurance podcast. And I've got some fantastic guests with me today. Triada and Lauren, thank you so much for coming. I'm really happy as I continue my journey to interview nonprofits that I get to interview one that I'm actually on the board for, but I get to ask the questions. I don't have to worry about answering any of them. So it's even better. So Triada, this is current CEO of Fulfill, and Lauren is our super awesome chairwoman. So thank you both for everything that you do for our communities in Monmouth and Ocean County and beyond, right? Because our reach is really state and national as we do all the work that you do. So Triada, give me a little bit of backstory about you. How the heck did you wind up at Fulfill?
So Fulfill is actually the third food bank that I've worked in. I found my way into this work over a decade ago when I was in New York City, and I was coming out of graduate school and interested in working in public policy on issues that impact people's lives. And for a little while, I worked for the local legislature in New York City and ended up working a lot on hunger issues. Issues of access to resources. There were issues with how this food stamp SNAP program was being administered. And it really spoke to me. And when I left the city council, I called up the food bank there and I said, you know, I'm really interested in getting involved in this work. And they happen to have a job opening. So lucky me, right? Right place, right time. I ended
Lucky
up working.
them. Lucky, seriously.
Facts.
So that was kind of where I started in this work. And you know, unfortunately, over a decade into it, there's still hunger. We're still working on this. You know, I deeply feel like my work is not done. There is more to do.
There's a ton of hunger out there, right? I mean, I'm going to say more than there was during the heart of the pandemic, right? Like that's what I'm noticing for us on the board level. Are you seeing that in the warehouse?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And out in the community. So I've been visiting since I started at Fulfill almost a year ago. I've been visiting our local food pantries, our network, and what I'm hearing from them and what we're seeing coming back in terms of the numbers is massive increases just since the start of the year. I mean, what's becoming really clear is we've kind of moved out of the pandemic crisis response, and now we're in an inflation response. And what we know from experience is that when inflation hits low-income families, food is one of the first things that gets sacrificed. So even in our own pantry network in Monmouth and Ocean Counties, the number of people visiting food pantries increased 60% just in the first 6 months of the year.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And ordinarily in the summer, we see a dip because there's so much seasonal employment here. That didn't happen this year. So 60% increase by June and then a plateau through the summer. That's not normal. Like that's just not how that typically looks. And so some of our pantries are reporting more need now than even during the height of the pandemic. You're totally right about that.
So Lauren, you've been on the board for a few years.
Ever. That's okay. You can say it.
Because, you know, you're only in your mid-20s and you started when you were 15.
Mathematically speaking, it's an anomaly. I understand.
But there was a time on the board where you were fighting to end hunger in Monmouth and Ocean County. Now we're just fighting to feed people and keep as many bellies full as possible with all sorts of different programs. Now, Triada used the word network, right? So we sometimes Fulfill acts as a pantry, but the network is really the key to it. Do you want to speak to that, or do you want to kick it back to Triada?
No, I would love to. In my small tenure here, I have learned one or two things, Aaron. What I love about Fulfill is I refer to it as the mothership. The backbone of the body, if you will, and the spine we're the spine, and we need everything else to complete the whole body. And that's where our network of pantries come in. We serve over 300 pantries.
Wow.
So we act as the warehouse that supplies the food out to the pantries. So we don't necessarily give an individual a meal. If they come to our door, absolutely no one will ever be turned away hungry. But we actually stock the shelves of the pantries, and the pantries are located all throughout Monmouth and Ocean County. It is there that the individual can go and they can shop, and they can get the food that we supply the pantries to. And without our pantries, we couldn't have nearly the impact that we do. Because if you think about it, there's 324 locations, give or take a couple, throughout our communities that are staffed with volunteers and community members to ensure that our reach goes far beyond what we could ever as Fulfill do by ourselves.
And the reverse of that is true also, right? The pantries would be in big trouble if they didn't have us, have Fulfill supporting them with both food, right, that we get in by the truckload from the USDA and other sources, right? And plus all the monetary grants that we provide the pantries when they're in need for refrigeration and equipment and whatever else is useful for, you know, the guests, for the families of the individual pantry. So it's definitely a give and take when it comes to that.
It's a beautiful, in my opinion, it's a very beautiful collaboration. One, I don't think could exist without the other, and vice versa. We need the pantries to distribute the food, and the pantries need us for the food. So it's a beautiful partnership that together we can work towards ending hunger. But at this point, we just want to make sure that everyone that is food insecure knows where they can go for their next meal if they need it.
Right. So right now we're in the season of giving, and the season of giving, the need is going to be greater than ever, right? I haven't looked at the price of turkeys yet.
I saw on the news today that they're up 74%, I think it was, that the news
So
was
there's no
reporting
free
this morning.
turkeys at ShopRite
No,
anymore.
there is.
Okay, good.
There is.
All right. Thank you, ShopRite.
Yeah. They sponsor Fulfill.
So you just have to spend more to get your however that coupon thingy works. I don't get involved with that. I avoid going shopping, apps only when at all possible. So there are a ton of programs going on at Fulfill Triada. Dive into a few of the programs that we run besides just food distribution.
Got it. Yeah, no, and just to go back to turkeys for a moment, you know, we had to put our orders in for turkeys back in February.
Oh my gosh.
Because food prices were already going up at that point.
Right.
And in order to lock in a decent price for the kind of volume that we were anticipating, and we had no idea it would be quite as high as it's been, but you know, we're as the pandemic, through the pandemic and now into today, we've had to become a purchaser of food more and more because donations have been volatile because of supply chain issues and because of inflation. Even government commodities have been volatile. And so those the reliability of those sources has been a little shaky. And so we've had to buy more as we've gone through. So going to the, season of giving.
Continuing to talk turkey, does Fulfill accept donations of frozen turkeys?
We will accept donations of frozen turkeys. They have to be solidly frozen. We won't take fresh turkey donations. We are responsible for food safety. And so if a turkey is frozen when we receive it.
So we need that bowling ball.
Yes, absolutely. So if you buy a turkey or get a free turkey that you don't need, we will absolutely take it.
So it's keep it in your freezer and then bring it to Neptune or to the Beat Center in Toms River right away so it can remain frozen. I mean, we should do like a turkey-thon, see how many more turkeys we can get from this. And I'm personally involved in a donation event on November 10th at Rooney's Oceanfront. We're doing a bit of a food drive, me and two partners, Dan Effenberger from O'Brien Realty and Jesse Casey from Atlantis Mortgage. Thank you both. We're doing a food drive, bring checks and food. Just don't bring turkeys because they're not going to wind up in the freezer. And have a martini on me and the guys, right? What else could you ask for? Make a donation and have a
Sounds like
nice
a wonderful
dirty
event.
martini. So you're more than welcome to come and join me. Martinis on me. Always happy to buy. So now that PSA is over, go back to the season of giving and everything else going on at Fulfill. Talk about some of the other programs besides just food.
Yeah. So, you alluded to this of, the mission to end hunger. And we don't end hunger just by distributing meals or distributing groceries, right? That gets people through their crisis moment. It puts a meal in front of a person tonight or food in their home for tomorrow. To get to the root of hunger, we have to do more. And so we have a resource connections team. They're an outreach team that goes out into the community to help people apply for benefits that are going to help them afford food in the grocery store. So decrease their reliance on a food pantry. The most important of those benefits is SNAP. It gives you a dedicated budget to go food shopping with every single month. And the amount of money and the food you can purchase from SNAP is always going to be more than what a person can find in a food pantry. Now, that said, the pantry is there to supplement because even SNAP benefits, with these food costs having gone up as much as they have, don't go as far as they need to.
Right.
Right now, we are in open enrollment for health insurance, and that team is out helping people get enrolled in affordable healthcare plans, because what we also know is that when budgets get tight for low-income families, food is where they make sacrifices. And so there's all these competing costs of living, and healthcare is one of them. You're hit with a medical bill and you need medication, or you've got to pay that. You can't really skimp on that. And so people will sacrifice with food. They'll start by sacrificing in quality and buying kind of the cheaper, less nutritious items because you can just get more of it. And when sacrifices in quality aren't enough, they start to sacrifice in quantity. And so we know if we can help people with some of those competing costs of living, that it's going to help them with their food security too. So we do that. We also provide job training. There is a culinary class in session right now.
Awesome.
We have students learning how to cook in a commercial kitchen, and they're learning everything from knife skills to life skills.
I like that. I like that tagline.
Is that the tagline? Is there a banner
great.
with that on
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, so that they can be ready for a job once they come out of the program. It's 12 weeks in the kitchen and classroom, and 1 week as an externship at the end in a restaurant or catering business. And at the end of that week, the hope is that their externship placement becomes a job placement. So we really always look for local employers who have job openings to host our externs.
And who doesn't have a job opening right now?
Right now, yeah.
You say that with great expression.
If
on
they
your
would love
face.
to be accountants, just go on to hfacpas.com. I'd be more than happy to interview them.
So I have no clue how you have time to do what you do for Fulfill, right? You're a mom of 3.
Yes.
You
3.
run a very successful accounting practice, not tax practice, but accounting and
We
audit.
do taxes,
Oh, you do
but
taxes?
the firm does taxes.
Okay.
I do not.
Right. So how do you find time for volunteering?
I feel that when it's in your heart and you see a need, you make time for what you want to make time for. And just as Triada saw a need so many years ago, when I was a baby auditor, I was in a school district auditing, and they asked us that we needed to leave one day really early that day because it was back to school night. And I remember what my back to school night looked like, and I didn't understand why we had to leave so early. And they said it was because they provided food, and that it was highly attended by the child's entire family because they knew that they could get fed.
Wow.
And that was the first time, because you've always seen the commercials of the starving children in some far off land, but that was the first time it truly hit home to me that it could be in my backyard, because the school district was in the next town over from me. And I just never associated that. So since then, I absolutely wanted to get involved. And then I had children of my own. And as a mom, I couldn't imagine being a mother and looking at my child's face and not knowing how I was going to feed them. And that, I feel like fellow moms, we band together. And if I can help one other mom not have to make that decision and to know how they're going to feed that kid, then finding the time in my life and in my day is 100% worth it to me.
I get chills thinking about it, and so many people do, especially for the children, right? Let's do it for the children.
Yeah.
The backpack program, I think, is a phenomenal program that Fulfill operates. There's Short of Help is an organization that I'm very close to as well. Local Monmouth Beach has donated significant dollars to Fulfill in the past. And 2 years ago, for their Turkey Bowl November fundraiser, I think there was a $40,000 and change check that was donated and earmarked to the backpack program to help children discreetly get food placed in their backpacks to take home for the weekend without other children knowing about it, which is important because you don't want to be that child that's getting assistance and, and risk being bullied or harassed by the not so kind children that may be out there that just don't understand what the need is, and that have different home lifestyles. So I love the backpack program, and it sends chills down my spine as a father to think about kids that are not getting fed.
And if you just think about that very notion, like we understand, or think about a moment that you're hangry and you're just mean because you're hungry. Imagine being that student trying to learn in a classroom and your belly's grumbling because you're hungry, or knowing that Friday at lunch is the last meal you're going to have until Monday morning breakfast. That's just something unfathomable, which is what the backpack program helps, which is incredible. Phil
needs to find a way to get Snickers to sponsor us, and then we can do one of those Snickers hangry commercials, right?
I like it. We're coming up with all kinds of stuff here today for marketing.
Bruce Springsteen joins in there at some point.
I like it.
You're a bad singer, and then you have your Snicker bar. I don't know, whatever it is, but I'm onto something here. So listen, there's so many ways to help Fulfill in this season of giving. We have a cash raffle, 50-50 coming up. Our auditor's in the room right now. Well, so that's on December 4th? 14th. December 14th is the actual giveaway. 2 p.m. is the drawing for the cash raffle. The last time the cash raffle was done, what was the total dollar amount in that 50-50? Was it like 80,000 or something?
I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but it was tens of thousands. Yes.
So there's some big money that gets given away, and we expect you to keep your winnings, kind of, sort of, maybe. But you can go to fulfillnj.org and you can buy raffle tickets right on the website.
Correct.
You can make donations right on the website. You can join me at Rooney's on November 10th and have a martini. What else do we have going on for other fundraising opportunities that we're doing right now?
So this is the giving season, and so it is the time of year where people's thoughts turn to food and turn to the holidays, and for those having less during the holidays. And so all of our opportunities are going to be on our website and are on our website. So opportunities to give funds, opportunities to give time. We always need volunteers. And so those are on our website as well, Monday through Friday in our warehouse or at the Beat Center, which is a very special location where we partner with other organizations, and in particular with the JBJ Soul Foundation, to make sure that people's food needs are met in a variety of ways, whether it's a hot meal or groceries to bring home, or connections to benefits and resources, or getting trained to cook. All of that happens at the Beat Center in Toms River.
And you were both just in a photo with John Bon Jovi?
We were.
At his request, I heard.
Absolutely. It was 100% at his request. Okay. We started to walk away and he's like, do you want a photo? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Are you asking me for a photo? Well, of course I'll grant you with a photo. So yes, in my mind, he 100% asked me for the photo.
I can't wait till that clip in particular goes viral.
He'll respond. Right. He absolutely asked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what we're going with.
Oh, so much fun. So what did I miss? What are we missing about Fulfill? What didn't we touch on? You want to talk anything else about your tenure and your experience and, where you're going next with Fulfill?
Oh, to me, where we're going next with Fulfill is we need to know what we can do better and how to serve our community. We are always listening. Like Triada said, she did a tour of our pantries, the very first opportunity she got. If there is a need out there that we don't know about, please let us know. We we really truly do want to end hunger in Monmouth and Ocean counties. That is our goal, and we will not rest until that happens.
That's great, Triada. I thank you and your team at Fulfill, because everything keeps getting better and better every day, and we'll just keep serving more and more seniors, children, families, and just keep trying to make sure we're taking care of the community that we have.
Well, thank you. I mean, it is thanks to a strong and really careful board. The two of you and your leadership has been really valuable in keeping us moving forward and on the right track. I mean, I'm personally really proud that this year, we are going to be distributing more food than we ever have in the organization's history. And that the food that we are prioritizing is what we know, because we've been listening, is most needed in our community. So we're looking at more protein, more produce, more dairy items. Those are the things that are going to be the most expensive when you go up and down the aisles in the grocery store. They're also perishable. So we're really doing an intentional job of listening to the needs out in the community and responding in our services. And, without the stewardship of the organization that the board has really taken on, that wouldn't be possible. So, I'm just super proud of what we can achieve together.
It's awesome. Well said. I think that that shuts us off. That's a wrap. I can't say it better myself. And thanks for your leadership, and look forward to continuing to help Fulfill.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.